And welcome everybody, Prophecy in the Spotlight here. I am your host, Brother Dan Goodwin, and we got an exciting, very important, very sobering show for you tonight. Doc is out preaching. We've been out preaching. We haven't been able to cross paths and get together, so I couldn't even get to the studio. So we're in another place. We're in my home studio here, or what's left of it here, and we just had to improvise. Okay, so hope you bear with us. I hope the audio is good. I hope the video is okay for you. All right, before I get started with what's going on in Israel, and I got a passage for you. I want you to get a Bible, and I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to get a pen or a pencil. This is important. And because I've got some information for you tonight, you're going to want to write a couple things down. All right, I want you to get a Bible, if you have one, handy. Matthew chapter 24 is where we're going to start. And but before I get to that and share some important developments that I think are very prophetic, I've not ever heard anybody say what I'm going to say tonight. And I've never saw what I see tonight that I'm going to share with you. Our audience, all right? And this is quite amazing. We really could be at the very end of this thing. I mean, the trumpet, they may be warming up the mouthpiece of that trumpet right now. We're that close. And make sure you're saved. Make sure you know the Lord. Make sure you're walking with Him, ready to meet Him and look Him in the eye and have Him say, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." Now, before we get into that, let me say this. We have been on CTN for over 3 years now. We're on VTN in Arkansas. We're on CTN nationwide on satellite and dish. We're on YouTube. Some of you are watching YouTube right now. You're watching us there. And we're also on Rumble. Okay? But something is changing. I've been praying. I've been trying to find a better venue, another venue to get us to a greater audience, and God has opened the door. I've shared this with you the last couple of weeks about pray.com. If you got your pen, I want you to write that down. Pray.com. It's an app you get on your phone or your iPad or your tablet or your computer, laptop, desktop, don't matter. You can get this app on there. Pray.com, we have been invited on. Now we have to pay. It's a lot of money. It's about the same cost as we pay CTN every week. A lot of money. And they have a huge audience. They've got millions of subscribers. By the way, the app is free. There's a paid app, but there's also a free app. And it won't cost you a penny. It's going to cost us hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. But I have talked to many of my supporters. Everyone that I've shared this with has said the same thing. Hey, this is an opportunity. Jump on it. And so what we're doing is we are leaving CTN. If you watch us on CTN, next Friday, the 27th of October, is our last show on CTN. And we are going on pray.com. Here's the thing. I'd love to stay on CTN, but there's no way I can juggle both of them because it's double the money. I need the CTN money to get on pray.com and have 10 times the audience, maybe more than that. And over time, I think it will be more than that. Huge audience over there. And a lot of people that's never heard of us. And they need to hear our message. And so I would love to stay on CTN because we have a lot of good people there. And many of you are watching right now. You've been with us some of you have been with us 3 years. Some of you were with me when I was still on Prophecy in the News out in Oklahoma City before they went under and we started this show. And many of you are supporters or monthly givers and send us a check now and then, hitting the donate button on the website. And we appreciate every one of you. But I also know that many of our givers do not watch TV at all. And they give because they believe in what we're doing. And if you're a giver, I hope that you'll continue because this is going to multiply your dollar, your investment in the ministry here, because we're going to reach 10 times the audience that we're reaching now. I really believe that. And I've seen it for myself because I've got the app. I go on there and it tells you how many are watching live. Sometimes there's 23,000 people watching. And I promise you, we don't have 23,000 people watching us on television. Not even close to that. And television is dropping. A lot of people are done with television. They're using apps and iPads and I mean, I've known this for several years. It's going like this, and the technical stuff is booming. TV and stuff like that is dropping. We've got to jump on this now. If some money comes in the next week or two, I will pick up the phone and I will call CTN. I'll say we're staying on another month. I think the money's coming in. If some big donations come in and some people want to keep us growing, and hey, we'll keep CTN and we'll add pray.com both. But right now we can't do it. It's one or the other. And we've been over 3 years on CTN. I think we've reached who we're going to reach, and I think we need to expand here. So here's what you do. If you're watching on CTN right now, don't panic. You got a pen and a paper. I'm going to tell you how to find us. I'm going to tell you how to watch our show. Number one, you can go to, if you're in Arkansas or Memphis or anywhere in the surrounding area there, you can watch us on Saturdays on VTN, Victory Television Network. We're on every Saturday at 2:30 Central Time. So, if that's available to you, there you go. If not, there's a Roku channel. If you have Roku, you can find our show on, I don't know what channel it is. You'll have to hit the little search bar and type in Crossing the Spotlight, and it'll show you where we're at. And if you need help with that, I can get the number for you. VTN can tell us how to find that. If you don't have Roku and you're not in the Arkansas area, but you have internet, you can watch every show anytime you want on YouTube. You don't have to wait till 7 o'clock Friday night. You don't have to you don't have to miss one. You don't have to come in halfway through. You can watch them. You can pause them anytime you want. Rumble. We're on Rumble. We're on YouTube, and you can get the app. Watch us on pray.com. That's what you should do. Now, if you're one of the very few people out there who has no internet, you don't own a smartphone. You wouldn't know how to do it if you had one. If we go off, you'll never see us again. Here's what you need to do. Get your pen. Get a piece of paper. If you're panicking now, oh no, they're going off, we don't have internet, I don't have a phone, I'll never see them again. Yes, you can. Here's what you do. The girls are working on it now. They have devised a plan to put all 4 shows every week on a DVD disc, and we can send that to you, and you can put that in your DVD player, and you can watch all 4 shows anytime you want. All we're going to ask is a small donation to cover the shipping and the cost of the packaging, the DVD, and but it'll be cheap. And you'll get all the shows. Nobody has to fall through the cracks here. Nobody. There's pray.com. There's VTN. There's Roku. And then last choice, there's these DVDs that we can mail to you. You say, I can't afford it. I'm old. I don't have any money. I can't pay for them. You call us anyway. We'll get it. We'll take care of it for you. The people who give to our ministry would be happy that some of that money went to help you get these DVDs in the mail. If you can give something, that would be great. But we do not want anybody to fall through the cracks and lose us, okay, and not watch our show. All right, this is a tremendous opportunity. Now, if you're out there and you're not one of our financial partners, would you pray about that? We're about to expand this thing. Wouldn't you like to invest in eternity today? Wouldn't you like to be involved in this? Hey, wouldn't you have liked to have been involved in the Apple company when it started, or Microsoft, or these companies that grew into this big thing? You know what? There's something more important than Apple and Microsoft and money and business. There's ministry. There's the souls of men. Why don't you just pray about investing with us here? Because we're taking off. By the way, we're doing YouTube Lives now. We did our first one last week. We had thousands of people on there. We're doing a Facebook Live and a YouTube Live twice a week now. I'm doing them at the same time. It's great. And man, are we getting response. We're getting people. The ministry's growing here. We're getting more people all the time. The YouTube channel's growing. Facebook is growing. Our TV audience is growing. And now the pray.com is going to take us out there. Why don't you pray about being a part of this? Being a part of it. I would love to talk to you on the phone. You get a hold of my phone number is on the website, or call the 800 number. Tell my daughter I'd like to talk to Evangelist. I'd like to talk to Brother Goodwin, or I'd like to talk to Dr. Hiltebit about investing in this ministry. We'll call you back. Get us a number. We'll call you right back. And this is important. We're in the last days, my friend. It's important that we do all we can. And we need more of you to get on board. If some money comes in quick here, we'll stay on CTN and we'll add this one. Wouldn't that be something? I'd love to do that. I'd love to keep CTN. And so we're keeping that door cracked open. And if some money comes in before we go off the air over there, and I'll make the phone call and we'll stay on. And you can make that happen. You out there, the viewers, you guys are the backbone of this thing, and keeping us financially able to pay them. Nobody gets a salary here. I think one person, my daughter, gets something, but Doc and I get nothing. We get no salary here. This is all ministry. And I'm not against getting a salary, and someday maybe the Lord will make it so we can. But honestly, I don't think there's time. I think the clock is ticking down. And all right, prophecyandspotlight.com, 888-505-SPOT, and I think it's prophecyandspotlight@yahoo.com is the email, and we want to hear from you. Now, let's get to the message at hand tonight. Hatred. Israel has become the hated nation of the world. Matthew 24, you there? You got your Bible, right? Matthew 24, look what it says here in verse 1. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. They're bragging on, hey, look at these buildings of ours. You know, they're bragging about the temple. It's a big deal to them. Still is, by the way. They're anxious for the temple. Matthew 24, the most misunderstood, misquoted, misused prophecy chapter in the entire Bible. All the mid-trib, pre-wrath, mid-trib, post-trib, pan out in the end trib people, they all get mixed up in Matthew 24. Matthew 24 does not have the church in it anywhere. Matthew 24 is the Jews, and Jesus is speaking to Israel here. There's some lessons for us, sure there is, but he's speaking to Israel. Now let's read it. Verse 2, Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Wow. This troubled the disciples. They just bragged on this place. Man, look at this temple, Lord. Isn't this something? Well, he told them what he thought of it. It's a bunch of rocks. Who cares? The temple's here. And so he said, not one stone's going to be left upon another. They were disturbed at that. They said, what? Now look what they say in verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, by the way, I've been there. Some of you have been there. I've stood on the Mount of Olives and looked through the Kidron Valley at the Dome of the Rock and the old city there, Jerusalem. And this is where Jesus is. He's standing, or in fact it says he's sitting. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately. This is just the disciples now. Saying, tell us. Well, they got some questions. Hey, do you have any questions? Why not ask the Lord? Why not get in the Bible and try to find answers? Study to show thyself approved unto God. Well, they had questions. 3 things they're going to ask him. Number 1, they said, tell us, when shall these things be? Now they're talking about the temple being torn apart. No stone left upon another. When will that be, they say. Second, and tell us, and what shall be the sign of thy coming? That's the second thing. Now, don't misunderstand that. They're not talking about the rapture there. Nobody in the Gospels is talking about the rapture. Nobody. Now, there are figures and types of the rapture, but there's no doctrinal teaching of the rapture, because the rapture was not known by anybody until the Apostle Paul after Acts chapter 9. He's given the mystery from God. What is a mystery? A mystery is something that was always there, but was hidden from view. Paul was given the understanding of this thing we call the rapture. And the word rapture is not in the Bible. That's fine. The word Bible is not in the Bible either. The word Trinity is not in the Bible. That doesn't mean it's not a biblical doctrine. Paul was given the understanding of this mystery that's called the rapture, the bodily resurrection of the saints. It's the bodily resurrection of the dead, but at the same time, since we're not dead, we're raptured bodily with them. The dead in Christ shall rise first. We which are alive remain shall be caught up. There's your rapture. Revelation 4:1 is that rapture, right at the end of the church age, before the opening of the first seal in chapter 6. So they asked him, when is the temple going to be destroyed? Number 2, what's the sign of thy coming? We want to know. They're talking about the second coming. The only thing they understood. They knew about Christ coming to set up the kingdom. They thought he had come to do it now. In fact, when you get to Acts chapter 1, you're going to see they're still thinking that. Because in Acts chapter 1, after Jesus is dead, and he walked the earth for 40 days, remember, he's getting ready to ascend back to heaven in chapter 1 of Acts. Before he ascends, they ask him a question. Here's what they ask. Lord, wilt thou at this time restore unto Israel the kingdom? They're still looking for the kingdom. By the way, they're looking for the kingdom right now. They're going to believe the Antichrist is that Messiah, and he's going to set up the kingdom. They're going to be excited about it. They're going to get the wrong guy. They rejected the right guy 2,000 years ago. They're going to accept the wrong guy now, until the middle of the tribulation, when their eyes will be open, and beginning with the 144,000 getting saved right there at the middle of the tribulation. All right. Let's go a little further here. So, when shall the temple be destroyed? Number 2, what's the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? When's the end of the world, Lord? Well, here's how he answers it. Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Now that's been going on for decades and centuries, right? Wars and rumors of wars. We're in one now. But as you're going to see in a moment, something has changed. And boy, this is powerful. What I'm going to tell you in just a couple minutes, I've never heard anywhere. I've never seen it before until today. Listen to this. I'm in Matthew 24. And tonight, when you get off here, before you go to bed, or tomorrow, I want you to read this chapter for yourself, starting in Matthew 24, verse 1, all the way at least to verse 9, but you ought to read the whole thing. And I want you to see if what I'm saying is not so. Verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. See, this is all through history, what he's talking about now. There's always been wars and rumors of wars. I like the old proverb, it's not a Bible proverb, I think it's an old Prussian proverb that says, in case of rain, the war will be held in the auditorium. Kind of humorous, right? In other words, rain or shine, money or no money, we will have our war. And boy, ain't that the truth. And be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Now look at verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Nations against other nations. The kingdom of God against the kingdom of Satan. The kingdom of one man against the kingdom of another man, and on and on and on it goes. Wars, rumors of wars, kingdoms, nations. It's all about property, by the way, and power. And there shall be pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. And more, we've seen pestilences recently, right? Then look what he says in verse 8. And these are the beginning of sorrows. In other words, when you see all these things, know that time is growing short. And in that little verse there, verse 8, the beginning of sorrows, it has the understanding of like a pregnant lady who's having birth pains. And the doctor will say, well, or the nurse will say, well, how many minutes apart are your pains? Oh, how many minutes? That lets them know, how much time you got. And whether to rush to the hospital or take your time getting to the hospital, right? Birth pains. The more you get closer to the birth, the more severe and intense and close together those pains become. Not that I would know as a man, right? But we got 5 kids, but I didn't go through that pain for any of them. But I understand some of this. And so in verse 8, there's a pivot here. He seems to be saying that what we just read are the beginning of sorrows. Do you see this? But then when you get to verse 9, it says, then. Then. Do you see that? Do you see it? Verse 8 is a pivotal verse talking about what we just read, what I just told you, are the beginning of these birth pains. But then what? When you're at the end of the birth pains and the delivery's coming, the baby's coming, look what he says in verse 8. This is powerful. Or verse 9, I mean. Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up. I believe something has shifted here when you get to verse 9. I think the birth pains are at an end, and now it's here. And the Jews, they're going to be killing Jews. Look what it says. Then, after the birth pains, then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Wow, did you see that? Hated, afflicted, killed, hated by all nations. Not some nations, not many nations, not most nations. Hated by all nations. Verse 9 is a pivotal spot. The birth pains are now turned into the delivery of the end time. And I believe that's where we are right now. And we could read on, but we won't. Let me give you a few things going on in the world right now that we've never seen anything like before. First of all, we got, I'm just going to read some headlines here. World War III watch. Israel bombs Syria in response to 2 rockets launched from Syria. And people are thinking World War III is almost here. By the way, it's been almost here for months now. With the bear from the north and Ukraine and all that, and America rattling the chains and keeping that war going. Says here, chaos, state fair in Texas evacuated, shooter in custody. I haven't even clicked on that yet. Wonder what that's about. By the way, we got 10 million people crossed our border in the last couple of years. We haven't got a clue who they are, where they are, what they're doing, what they're here for, and what their religious beliefs are. Stunning meeting between the Iranian leader and the Hamas leader raises all kinds of questions. As a headline. Iran warns Israel it will intervene if Gaza operation continues. See, Iran's getting ready to get in here. And of course, they're financing this anyway. And can you believe this? Now, there's some others here. Let me go to this, my other page here that I had up. Right here. I got some headlines here for you. Here's one. The leader of Turkey. The leader of Turkey, and I can't say his name, Erdogan, he accused the United States of planning to carry out massacres in Gaza by sending its aircraft carrier to Israel. There's a picture of him here. And that's the leader of Turkey. He's no friend of Israel, and really no friend of ours. Here's another one that's recent. Israeli Columbia student assaulted on campus. Hatred of Jews. Europe. Here's a story from Todd Starnes, October the 14th. And it says, the headline is this, and there's a picture of multitudes of people. Here's the headline. London has fallen. 50,000 marched to protest the Jews. And I wrote in my headline when I posted this, Europe is fallen. There's stories all over here. Protests, attacks on Jews happened on Hamas Day of Rage. All kinds of, here's Muslims and young leftists march on UCLA campus. That's California. Chanting Intifada, or a bloody uprising against Israel. That's from the Gateway Pundit. On and on I could go. Stories everywhere of uprisings and people meeting and people, even in our Congress people, shouting death to the Jew kind of stuff and hatred for Israel. That's the world we live in today. I believe something's just been fulfilled here. I believe every nation of the world is now against Israel. There's only one thing that's going to save Israel, and that's God. How's he going to do it? I believe it's the Gog-Magog war. I believe when Russia comes down to the mountains and wages war on Israel because they've attacked Syria and probably Iran, Russia comes down to their defense. He's coming after Israel anyway. That's what he wants. And he's going to be destroyed there. Who does it? I believe the Antichrist is going to be used to save Israel. He's going to confirm the covenant at that time, confirm to the world that the Abraham covenant says the land belongs to the Jews. That's the covenant that's confirmed. And I believe the rapture and the crowning of the Antichrist will all happen right in that same time span. Well, that's a lot to digest. Read Matthew 24 and see if you don't come up with this. Well, until next time, keep your eyes on them skies.